Every generation in history prepared its children for work. They taught them skills, discipline, responsibility, a place in society. But for the first time, we may be raising a generation that is not being prepared for any job at all. Not because they are lazy, not because they failed, but because the system no longer needs them. This isn't about automation, it's about identity. Because when you remove work, you don't just remove income, you remove the story people tell themselves about why they matter. So the real question isn't, will jobs disappear? The real question is, what happens to the first generation that grows up knowing they are not required? For most of human history, work was never just about survival. It was a social contract. You contributed, and in return, you earned dignity, status, and belonging. Even unpaid work counted. Farming, raising children, caring for elders, defending territory. Contribution was visible. Effort was legible. One comment under our last video said, "Nobody respects someone who hasn't contributed." And historically, that's been true. Societies have always struggled to respect people whose role was unclear. Work made roles clear. Now, imagine a generation entering adulthood with no role to inherit, no ladder to climb, no function to perform, no contribution to prove, not because they refused, but because there was nothing left to do. Technology didn't break society, it solved production. We can grow more food than we need, generate more energy than we consume, produce more information than we can process. The problem was never output. The problem was always distribution and meaning. One viewer wrote, "Scarcity today feels designed, not natural." They're not wrong. AI accelerates this tension. If machines create abundance but access is controlled, then the first jobless generation won't experience freedom. They'll experience dependency. And dependency changes psychology fast. When survival is guaranteed but agency is not, people don't relax. They destabilize. They look for something, anything, that makes them feel necessary again. Another common response is, "This won't work. Humans are selfish." But that argument has been used before to justify slavery, to defend child labor, to preserve feudal hierarchies. Human behavior doesn't exist in a vacuum. It adapts to incentives. Change the structure and behavior follows. The danger isn't that humans can't adapt to a world without jobs. The danger is that systems will adapt faster than values, ethics, and institutions. When that gap grows too wide, entire generations fall into it. The first generation without jobs won't feel liberated. They'll feel disoriented. They won't wake up asking, "What should I do today?" They'll ask, "Why should I do anything at all?" Without external necessity, motivation collapses inward. Some will thrive. They'll create, explore, learn, but many won't. Because meaning is not automatic. Work used to impose structure, deadlines, pressure, feedback. Remove that, and you don't get freedom by default. You get silence. And silence is dangerous for unprepared minds. Here is the uncomfortable truth. A jobless future will not fail because people starve. It may fail because people feel unnecessary. When no one needs your labor, you begin to question your existence. That's when depression scales globally. That's when resentment finds targets. That's when extremism offers purpose. Not because people are evil, but because they are empty. In that world, meaning becomes the most valuable resource on earth. More valuable than money, more valuable than data, more valuable than productivity. And right now, we are doing almost nothing to prepare the next generation for that reality. So the question we should be asking is not about jobs, it's about replacement. What replaces work as the organizer of life, community, creation, learning, care? If contribution is no longer measured by labor, how should it be measured? Because the first generation without jobs will not be judged by how efficiently they live. They will be judged by whether they find something worth living for. And we are dangerously late to that conversation. So, let me ask you directly. If work no longer defines contribution, what should? Creation, care, knowledge, something else? Leave your answer below. This channel exists to ask the questions we were never prepared to answer. Welcome to the synthetic future.